Hello, this is Abir, and today we are going to talk about MLH Fellowship. So let's get started. This was the best 12 weeks of 2021 I had, and I want you to be a part of this program and learn something and upskill yourself in software engineering. First, we are going to talk about the program's mission and why it came into picture, and then what's the idea behind it, and how you can be like one of the fellows preparing your application, and some quick steps and ongoing tips that can help you to improve your rate of acceptance as a fellow. So let's get started. First thing, head over to fellowship.mlh.io. So as soon as you head over, land upon this page, you are going to see something like this. Just scroll down a bit. First thing that you notice that you are not going to learn things by watching or anything like that, any tutorial or any stuff, not videos. You are going to learn things by doing them directly, like building the end-to-end products and learning if you are going to have new technology with you, so you are going to learn it directly like in the fellowship, do the documentation and spend whole day night and build some cool stuff. So three things that you are going to get in this fellowship, that is the expert mentorship. And let me tell you, the expert mentorship is the level of mentorship that you get. You know about Fast API, the creator of Fast API, Sebastian. He is one of the maintainers plus mentor at MLH Fellowship. So you can think the level of you can say the expert mentorship that you can you are going to get in this fellowship. Then second thing, that the real world experience, what are the projects that you are work on, what are the open source contributions, or what are the software that you are going to build up, everything you can put it up directly on your resume, because it's gonna be an end-to-end product and you're going to learn lot many things. Flexible scheduling, if you have if you are a university student or full-time university and doing some other work based on your time zone, you can have the part-time options too to fit your schedule. So this is one of the thing about MLS, that's flexible scheduling is their real world experience, that whatever project you work on, it's gonna land directly on your resume. The next thing that you should know, let's first go to the FAQs before going on to the tracks, and let's get to know that why MLH fellowship has started. Because of COVID-19, like a lot of students lost their job opportunities and internship offers too. So MLH thought to have a program, or a fellowship program, to help them and upskill themselves, like all the student software developers, and help to gain some real world experience by working on some hands-on projects. So it's completely on helping students out or helping developers out to upskill themselves, and during this pandemic time, and helping people out is the most important thing, because most of the students are missing this hands-on experience on various technologies. So MLH has come up, put up this fellowship program for the purpose of fellowship program is this. So if you just read on to the FAQs, you're going to get a lot of things, a lot of information about it. And the general information you can just go through once and check out it. And let's go to the tracks, that what are the tracks available. So I'm going to go back again to MLH fellowship here. So if you see, there are three tracks: Explorer, Open Source, and Externship. So what happens in Explorer track, you're going to get you're going to build your portfolio out of it, right? Something like you're going to have hackathon based sprints, where you are going to have different themes. For our time, like it was developer tools, then game development, and then data ethics. So we built some cool projects, like for developer tools like Torch Blaze, and then for game development we have Tic Tac Chain, that's blockchain based tic tac toe, and then for data ethics we landed up with Crypto Drive. So like this, our whole pod contributed in building this Explorer fellowship, and it was pretty much great. Like if you get to know a lot more things, you are going to do some real code reviews of your peers, and also the pod leader will be reviewing your code. So it is completely real world experience. And if you are having if you say just you know the things, that how to build a stuff, and but you haven't worked in real world scenario, like having a particular team in a team driven environment, then you should head over to Explorer and apply to it directly. If you have any past open source contributions, like complete open source end-to-end contribution, something like Google Summer of Code or anything like that, then you have the particular knowledge about it, then you should go directly for open source. It's not like that you have just a small contribution to any organization. It's just like you want to contribute properly to an open source organization. Partner organizations will be AWS, OVO, Indeed, Twilio, Pluto. All these projects, all the open source projects of these companies will be put up for you, and you need to choose one of them. Can be a JavaScript or Python based projects. You need to choose one of them based on your expertise, and then you need to contribute to one of the projects, whatever the projects they have. So this is about the open source. You can think it of something like a pipeline kind of stuff. Like you first enter into Explorer, then you go to open source, then you go to externship. Externship is something like you're going to build an end-to-end product with like a real company or government partners like US military. So you can like directly solve some software engineering problems over there, and not just problem, you're going to build the product to solve that software engineering problem. So like this it is. So this is about the tracks. I hope that's pretty much clear to you now. And let me tell you that open source track for open source, many past GSockers also have got the rejection mail for the open source track. So just not to scare you, just to let you know that it's have the level of like you have to have that level and have the capability to contribute to like a large open source code base, reading the code base up and doing some contributions. If you have that confidence, just go to it and apply to it. That's it. This is the first thing. This is about the program's mission and what you should know. So now let's see the like particular application procedure, that what you are going to do in the application, and how you can we are going to like put up some tips over there, and how you can actually improve your application, stand out from the crowd. So let me just go over here, and this is something like you can see a timeline kind of stuff that I have made over here. And first thing that you should know is the general information. So general information like consists of like eligibility, resume, GitHub, portfolio, all these things. Like first thing, the eligibility, that you should not be residing in any country embargoed by US, so like North Korea. So you need to have proper internet connection too to participate in fellowship, because all your stand-ups, like whenever you start your day at fellowship, you will be having stand-up. We are going to talk about yesterday what happened, today what happened, today what are you will be doing, and any blockers you have or any shouts you want to give to your teammates. So you should have the proper like internet connection. Your resume should speak about your past projects, and it should not be like something you can say. It should not say some false information about you, but it should contribute, like it should say the true things about you, what you have built, what you have made. And feel free to like put up the past projects that you have, or any open source mini contributions also that you have done. Just put it up in your resume so it looks better. And you need to be proficient in one of the languages, at least JavaScript or Python or Ruby on Rails. You just need to know what is the language, and how you should have built some end-to-end application in one language. It can be any CLI app, or it can be any, but it should just, the thing is that you should be proficient in one language at least. So about all this, then you should need to choose your track wisely, because what happens sometimes, you feel that I have done some open source contributions, so I'm good for open source, something like that. It happened with me too. So but I really I introspected a while, like before applying, then like before rethinking my decision that should I go for open source or Explorer. So then I analyzed the stuff, so I felt myself to more close to Explorer. So I thought, oh, let's go to Explorer, and then we'll try the things out. So it this was beneficial for me. And like if you are like be true to yourself and you just introspect before you choose the track, it will be beneficial for you. Otherwise, what happens when you get the projects, like open source projects, you are going to get like a bit confused with them, how to proceed, and a lot of confusions will be there, and you will not like end up learning good things, but you are getting messed up with the stuff. So this is what you should know, that there should be like learning gap should be there, the difference should be there, like what you are doing now and what you want to do now. There's definitely a gap is there, the difference is there, but it should not be too much difference that can make you fell down out of the like whatever you place you are in, and make you demotivated. It's nothing, it should not be like that. So just introspect about it before applying to any track. What are the tracks here, like something like you want to go for Explorer or open source or extension. Then second thing about the code sample, because what's there, or whatever you do like put up, you're going to have code sample, particularly like the second phase of application. As far as I remember, that there is like code sample that you have to put. It can be a GitHub link, and GitHub link should be public. because it will be accessed by a lot of the admissions team and the person, like many people. There's not only one man sitting behind the like application review, but a complete team is sitting behind. So it should be, the link should be public. The code, the explanation to be to the, should be to the point of what it is doing. If you are putting some like a complete GitHub repo as a project, then it should explain first what is the architecture, what it does, and how is it working. So have a clear picture about the code base, and like you should know what you are writing or what you are coding. You should know your code, because this only fetches you the most points. So how you explain the code and how you write it up, how well you know your code, that matters the most in fellowship application. So make sure that you actually put it very nicely, and you should like be to the point, be specific. If you are having some module, what it does and where it has been called, and what is the function that called it, and what the process it does. So something like that, you can chain up the stuff. If you are putting any module based modular code or something like that, and you can explain the while what this code does and what's the purpose of this project. Start with always start with the purpose of the project before going to any in-depth explanation. First start your line with the what's the purpose of the project. I submitted code for the web terminal. I'll put the link below, that I built the web terminal, Linux web terminal. It's like browser, it's, you can say it's a Linux terminal simulation. Remember, it's simulation on browser, which helps starters to like learn Linux command interactively without setting up anything on browser. It was just we use tree data structure and everything. You should like this was the first line that helps to know that what your project does. It helps to like interview, like, okay, fine, this project does this thing. Then he proceeds with like she proceeds with the next thing, like what is it, like what is the code, what it does, and all. So you should know that. First explain the purpose of the project and what it's doing and what's the stuff, and then you should go on explaining your code. Next thing that you should remember about personal assessment questions, because these are the most important things, because it is something like it helps you to like, it represents you completely as a human, what kind of human being you are. So obviously you should be yourself. You should not fake things or don't create any false image of yours. Be original, and be to the point why you're going to like, why you want to be an MLH fellow. So you should, because this is the most important thing that is seen, like it's seen first before seeing your code sample. So it should be like very much original, and be yourself. Don't fake anything, because in interview, if it is found that you are faking things up, obviously if you're faking things, it will be found in interview. So there you lost the chances, every chance that you have. If you have a good code sample also, if you have good like proficiency also, you won't be considered. This is the first step that you should remember, that be yourself, be honest with the things. And it should take some time, deep thinking, do some deep thinking before answering these questions. And uh, put it like in like you should be original about it, like whatever you're doing, it should represent you. This is what like the basic thing that you should remember whenever you are like putting a personal assessment questions, because these are most important things for assessing you personally, and it is done before the code sample. So you should know about it well, because first the thing is that if we are going to go down next, that you are going to see the first interview, second interview, what's happening, then you are going to get more clear picture about it. So the first interview is will be about like questions that describe you. Like it will be something, why you want to be an MLH fellow, what inspires you, and something about yourself. Tell me something about you. It can be anything. It is the first interview is just getting to know yourself, right? So like you are going to be like you are applied to fellowship, why you applied to fellowship, what all the HR based questions that have you are going to be asked. So just like be original. This completely non-technical question. So you need to be like original, why you want to be an MLH fellow, and you just need to interact with the interview, and you are surely going to get the points for your application. Then second interview, the technical interview, it's like you have your own code sample, whatever code you submitted on the application, you need to know that. And then you will be asked anything out of it, and like explain why ref has used. Or I submitted a React code, so it was like why I used ref, because child elements are getting updated, so I don't want the whole state to get refreshed, so I'm referencing the other like element, the jQuery terminal plugin to this. That's why if there's a child update, the whole div don't gets the state don't get refreshed. So that was the concept of ref that I explained there. And then there was some like we had some services like counter services, what the counter service do. and you should know like some this was some part of my technical interview, like some questions that have been asked in my technical interview, so I'm just seeing on that only. And similarly, you'll be asked based on your project that you have submitted. So make sure that you should know your code properly, and also make sure that you are able to like see the things out, what it does and why it does. You should more focus on why and how, instead of what is required, but most important thing, why you have used it and how it is actually working behind the scenes. So this is what the technical interview, like the most important part in the technical interview. Next thing is the next what are the procedures is that internal admissions, team reassessment, that whatever the applications you have submitted or the interviews are, again a reassessment will be taken out, and a lot of more stuff, internal stuff will be gone, like a process stages will be gone. Then you're going to assign like then the pod assignment will take place, and after everything is done, after everything, pod assignment done and confirmation, reconfirmation, reassessment, everything is done, you are going to get something like this on your mail. This let me just put it in bit center. So you're going to get something like this, and then you need to like start up, gear up, and do the practice and get started with the fellowship. So I hope now everything is pretty much clear to you now, that how it works, and how like how you are going to put up, how you're going to choose the track, and then how you are going to actually uh, put up the applications, put up the code sample and all these things. If you have still any more queries left, you can put it up in comment section. I will take my time to explain it to you in better way in there itself, or if I need some like if there's some need of any visual representation, I'll put up directly the link of the visual representation too. And don't worry, I'll share the things or whatever the GitHub link that I have shared during my code sample, during my application in the code sample section, I will share that too. So you can just refer that. Make sure that you don't copy the things out, because if you copy it, you're going to get directly got it, because the some projects are like they have been like the one web terminal was in KWOC2, so it's repetitive project that I have put up in various like events, hackathons. So it's something like if you are going to use the same duplicate project, you are going to get caught up. So this is very important, don't duplicate or anything like that. Just be yourself, have your own project, and do the things up. So if you have any questions or any suggestions or any feedback on the video, or any request on the next video that you want to see, or any developer based articles or anything like that, just mention in the comment. And that's all from my side, and I hope you liked the video. And if you have any more like queries or anything, you just need to comment it out or reach me on LinkedIn. I've put up all my drop down link, like all the social links in the description. And that's all from my side. Stay safe, all the best for your application.